Poetry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Welded Indians author discussion. Today we have Subi Taba with us. Nice to have you here. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. Happy Independence Day.
Yes, same here. We are really happy to have you out here. And I'll just give a few intros so new people might not know about you. So I just want to say a few things.
Okay.
So Subi Taba is an award-winning poet and writer from Arunachal Pradesh, whose debut fiction, I really love the book. Tales from the Dawnlit Mountains brings the landscape, folklore, cultures of the place, memories, and oral traditions of Arunachal Pradesh. So, in fact, it was published by Vintage Books, Penguin Random House. And we all read this book last month, and we are so delighted to have you here. We all loved it. We enjoyed reading it. So, we have a lot of questions to ask to you. So, shall we begin?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for the
Yeah?
invitation.
Yeah, okay.
And thank you for picking my book as your July read. And I'm very happy. I mean,
Yes.
even if it's few or, I'm happy that my book could reach out to more people in the South.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Because I think your book is more well known north side and northeast side, your side. But many people might not even know that such people write such things. Some of the people who we spoke were like they were telling, we didn't even realize that people were so different and different cultures were there. So many myths were there. We are not even aware, right?
Yes.
So India is a huge country,
Yes,
and so
definitely.
many things are happening. But yes. So that's the thing. Okay, and we are also a bunch of writers, and we were very happy. It's a debut book. So I want to start from there. Every writer, no, we ask, where did this idea come from? So every tale from yours, no, can you take us back to the beginnings? When did the idea for the collection first come to you? When did it start?
Mhm. So the idea for the collection started when I submitted one short story. The first short story, which was written chronologically in this collection, was The
Mm-hmm.
Spirit of the Forest. So when I wrote and submitted that story, I attended a short story writing workshop conducted by Himalayan Writing Retreat. Just saying.
Okay.
And during that time, I happened to write the story "A Night with the Tiger" after the workshop, and the next story I wrote was "The Last Priest." So I had like three stories, and during that time, I actually didn't, thought of, compiling a short story collection, but that I came across the South Asia Speaks Fellowship advertisement, and you know, I applied for that, writing a book project about a short story collection. And that's how the other stories again came into the book. Because I was selected for that fellowship, and slowly I realized that what other stories can I write in that same thematic vein of the stories that I already have written. And I realized that I could write the stories where the similar themes would be mountains, nature, culture, myths. So that's how the birth of the book happened. And before this,
Mm.
I never wrote any short stories. This is
Oh,
my
that's
first attempt
fantastic.
at short stories.
Oh, that's fantastic. Then, how was your childhood like? Did you read a lot? Did you meddle with some writings, poetry, and all that?
Mhm. So I think I was an average reader because I know people who read hundreds of books a year. I'm not,
Yeah.
one of them. My max
Mm.
is maybe 10, 15, 20 books a year because, I had to study a lot when I was young, my childhood. I'm
Mm.
the eldest daughter, and I was always studying during my school and in my college and after college to get job. So my life, like 50% of my life of my child,
So
maybe
it was like
80%
so.
studying all the time. So if
Okay.
I invested so much time in creative writing, maybe I would have failed some of the exams. So
Mm.
I used to do a bit of creative writing in college, especially during the college festivals when we had poetry
Mm.
essay competition. I used to take part there. But writing actually happened after I got my job. I mean, serious writing, because I was like,
Mm.
I'm better in a better position in my career. Maybe I can, give some more time. And honestly, till today, I have not been able to give that much time to writing as I wish.
But it doesn't look that you have started recently. It feels like you already had that innate talent to write a lot of stories. Probably in your adulthood, you found out your voice. That's
Mm.
probably it.
Yeah, this is
Yes.
something
Okay.
even I
Mm.
don't know, and I don't know because I am not from writing background. I'm from agriculture background.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, so the next question is: you have brought Arunachal Pradesh into the center of the literary imagination, right? Through these
Mhm.
collections. Was there a conscious desire to introduce your part of the country, its people, landscape, and tradition to
Mhm.
the rest of the place and to the world? Like, was it a
Mhm.
conscious thing, or did it happen like naturally? I want to talk about this place so many people will discover it.
I think it happened consciously as well as non-consciously, I think. But I remember
Mm-hmm.
in the synopsis which I had submitted for the book, because this book I had applied for the fellowship and also to pitch to the publisher. So in the synopsis, there was always the starting sentence was always like very less, little is known about Arunachal Pradesh, and many cultural aspects are not known. There are few writers from Arunachal, but I feel like there hasn't been any like book coming out of Arunachal which had tried to, talk about different cultures and also maybe the different regions. So I thought
Mm-hmm.
that it was, also an attempt. Like when I was presenting the book, I knew that I had to, um, entertain, entertain, and also give information to the people. And there are so many
You
things.
balanced it very well, though. Whatever you're saying, you balanced it very well. Yes.
Yeah, so and I'm that kind of reader who's very picky reader. So I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
also write a book which is not boring.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so many of these tales have the feeling of stories, that has been passed down orally.
Mm,
We can get that feeling. It's like through elders, communities, and generation. It's like a small kid
mm,
listening to their grandpa tell a tale, and then
mm,
you decide to write it. Did you do that? Did you hear these tales or versions of it, or
mm.
small snippets there and here from your grandparents or someone from your place? Did you get such ideas?
Yeah, some of the stories are some belief system, like the story,
Mm.
remember that curse of the high priest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so in the story, people believe that certain curse of a high priest led to the death of a family. So I heard a similar story as in they died maybe of sickness, but people were saying like they died because
But
one of
people might, yeah,
yeah, they
exactly.
died because one of their
Mm.
servants had stolen some ornaments from someone, and
Wow.
then the priest had cursed. So the fear
Okay.
element was there. So,
Mm.
and
Also,
also,
the.
yeah, some of the
Mm.
stories like um, a man from China.
Mm.
There are many similar stories like that because we share borderlands, in with China, Tibet, and many people get lost in the forest while hiking or maybe gathering some vegetables, uh,
Oh,
and
okay.
and there was a story of a man who went to the Tibetan side, got married there as an immigrant, and
Mm.
had a family. And later he came back because the Chinese had suspected him as a spy. So that
Okay.
man happened. to work for my mom for a certain period of time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And he
I mean, I
told,
wanted to talk about that particular story at the
uh-huh.
end, but then you brought it out. Fine. Yeah.
So that
Uh,
man told his story to my mom, and my mom told that story to me. And he was a very old man,
hmm.
and he passed away. But I really, it was a very short story that my mom told, that that man had a Chinese wife, and he had, you know, run away through the mountains in this Tibetan Arunachal border, and
Okay.
he had to leave everything he had built in Tibet. So that story stayed
Oh.
with me. So in a way, yeah, many of the stories have passed on to me orally, and some of the stories are based on my observations, like the last Donipolo priest, and also
Hmm.
the stories about the forest in Pake Tiger Reserve. So those are based on my observations and lived experience.
That's wonderful. So I just wanted to talk about the memories of the headhunter, macabre
Mm,
memories. So
mm,
I really enjoy that story. Even though in the beginning it takes like a very, what to say, brutal, difficult, violent part. But
mm,
at the end, it's about redemption, forgiveness. That really spoke to me. What was it about writing that story? You wanted to show both the sides that man can have forgiveness, they can change. You wanted to
mm.
focus on that. What was it all about?
Mhm. So this thing was practiced in eastern part of Arunachal, who shares
Mm.
borderlands with Burma, Myanmar,
Mm.
and this is actually a very sensitive topic, isn't it? Because
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
it can be seen in a very
Because
dark.
they it yeah, as you saw, as you
Mm,
say, no, that's particularly, that's what I thought. This can be taken in any way, right?
mm-hmm,
They can take it in a like a kind of a different angle. They can
mm-hmm,
say that about religion is there and all
mm-hmm,
those things. It's a very sensitive thing, I thought. Yeah, that's wonderful.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I wanted to write about this because even me, I learned about the practice of headhunting in eastern part quite late. You know, I studied in Nagaland. I knew about headhunting
Hmm.
in Nagaland earlier than headhunting in that eastern part of Arunachal, and it was interesting. I mean, the moment I read like some of the research books, I felt that I should write a story on that topic. And it was where I had to be very sensitive when I wrote, because there are children and ancestors who had been part of that shared trauma and grief and history.
Oh.
So, you know, I had to be very careful while choosing names for the characters also, because that
Oh,
certain
okay.
because in that certain part of Arunachal, the naming system is very, you know, unique. There will only be one Subi Taba in one village. So if somebody says Subi
Oh.
Taba, they'll know that she belongs to that village. So I had to be very careful in
Oh.
choosing names so that
Yeah.
not repeat anyone's name.
Uh, yeah, it might invariably think it's like she's talking about me or something. They
Yeah,
might
yeah.
get the wrong idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I didn't
Oh,
wanted to
okay.
present them negatively, you know?
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. This is what this discussion is all about. Because when we read this, we might
Mm-hmm.
never know that such things are there, right? We will
Mm-hmm.
just go read it and we'll feel like, okay, it's a nice story, it's a good ending.
Mm-hmm.
That system was gone, probably the man changed. But we will never know these details, like where did
Mm-hmm.
it come from? What are the nuances? And that's why we want to talk to you more about all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then your stories are more about identity and belonging. Even The
Mm-hmm.
Man from China is about that, and many other stories. It's like, do we belong? Do we stick with the cultures, or do we move forward? Your characters are always in a revolt, like they are in the crossroads. They want to move forward, as well as some of them stay back. So there is always tension. What
Mm-hmm.
do you think about that?
Mm. You know, when I hear questions like this from the reader's perspective, I also question myself, the same thing, Sometimes I don't know also, like some of the like observations which the other person might have seen in the stories. But yes, like you asked, some revolting characters were
Mm.
there, especially in, I think, the story, The Last Donipolo Priest. The priest
Mm-mm.
was in that era where priesthood
Yeah,
was fading and the modernity, roads had come in, government jobs were coming, and money,
his own
culture.
son wants to move to the different thing, no? Like he wants to
Yes,
do all this. Uh,
yes,
that's a
yes,
conflict there. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. And I felt that that conflict happens to all of us, maybe not in career, but there are so many life choices which we might have wanted to do, but we had to give up. So I myself, I felt like I have felt like that boy many times in my life,
Mm.
where I wanted to do
Exactly.
this, I wanted to go that road, but I
Uh,
had to give up. And sometimes I'm okay, but sometimes I some things,
what
uh,
if
yeah,
maybe you
haunts
have that
me.
idea like what
What if?
what if I took the yeah I took this
Yeah,
day.
so
That's
definitely, yeah.
wonderful. Okay. Yeah. From that same question, do you think literature can help communities negotiate this tension? Do you think literature can give them empathy and ideas about it?
Empathy about
Yeah,
empathy about
because we
change.
we are talking about tensions and all
Mm-hmm.
these conflicts, right?
Mm-hmm.
If some person reads this, do you think they will have a deeper understanding? Like, okay, this happens to everybody else. It's not only me.
Mm-hmm.
Literature plays a role there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it can, at some
Hmm.
times, especially I think with my story, Macabre Memories of Headhunting.
Yeah.
Um, I think people, when they read this story, they'll understand that, um, because headhunting might seem very brutal to from the eyes of a different culture, but that region was in political turmoil, and the
Oh.
headhunting existed within their territory only, not in my territory
Oh,
or my
yeah, yeah.
grandparents' territory. So it was
They can't simply go somewhere and do that, right? It's
yes, yes.
uh
So, so
okay.
those people, like those community, didn't come to our side because it was not
Hmm.
just for killing someone. It was a political move for
Oh.
power, for the villages,
Hmm.
bigger villages to control smaller villages, and they collect tax from the smaller villages in exchange for protection from other villages.
Okay.
So
Oh.
I think if someone reads that story, they'll see and understand that headhunting, why some people were compelled to do headhunting. And there are like many reasons why they did. Like in that story, the brother did that to take revenge of his older brother, which is actually based on a small research anecdote I came across in a research book about
Mm-hmm.
the warrior tribes. Similar instances like that. A young brother was beheaded, but the younger brother, second brother, was very young to take revenge. So when he grew up,
Uh,
he got a bee stung on his neck. He felt so much pain and realized about his brother's pain,
oh. Okay.
beheaded
Okay.
pain. Yeah, how much pain he might have endured during his beheading. So that day he decided it's time, to take revenge. So there were
Mm-hmm.
many causes, sometimes land disputes, but then like the thing that happened in the story also with the coming of missionaries and coming of
Mm.
schools, they, abandoned those practices. But, it's if we look back, it was traumatic, but it's a very different cultural memory
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have. So I wanted,
Yes. Yes.
I mean, the readers to see it in that way. So maybe,
Mm.
like, if someone reads this story, they'll have empathy for why people had to practice that during those times.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, Right now we don't brutally do it, but still that system is
Yes.
there. No, it's in a different form.
Yeah,
It's a
humans are
different
killing
game.
each other in more
Yeah.
advanced
Ways.
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 Mm,
You have all sorts of things. Okay.
yes.
And another thing is about faith and the old beliefs, the cultural beliefs.
Mhm,
They had all your stories. I mean, some of them were talking about old traditional ideas a lot, like the
mhm,
cultural beliefs and systems. But I feel that's very important for you to bring it, because that is
mhm,
also retaining all the memory, cultural memory. I mean, the religious, indigenous beliefs to be on paper. No, even after 100 years, people will know that some
mhm,
people existed, they believed in such things. Was
mhm.
it important for you to bring out all those ideas?
So the story, the characters were in certain village, and to create
Hmm.
a scene of a village, those rituals were really important.
Okay.
Yeah, so I could not separate the rituals and their belief with the character from the landscape they were. So that's
Okay.
how I saw when I was young, people
Yeah.
behaving, going for
Hmm.
rituals, festivals, harvest festivals.
Like, for us readers who have no idea, like, what the cultural landscape is, or
Mm,
uh, even in South India, we have our own stuff, right? We have our
mhm,
own ideas, beliefs, as you say, rituals.
mhm.
Uh, like, all the things which you said are maybe not fully practiced, but they were practicing it. How did you do the research for all these things? Were you aware of all those things?
Mhm. Like, can you give me some example of which story that comes to your mind when you're
Uh,
asking this question?
yeah, for example, that I'm not particularly sure, but there is a character, right? He headhunting, for example. The other thing is they do this. Uh, I'm not sure. I didn't mark that one. Wait one second. Yeah, yeah, and exactly the Lost Village, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Lost Village is about. Did you mean to bring out that the culture is lost, or what did you try to do there?
So in the
The snakes, yeah.
mhm. So for example, in the Headhunter
The
story,
Python, exactly. That's what I
mhm,
wanted to ask. You
mhm,
have brought that mythical Python and all that,
mhm,
right? So,
mhm,
did those stories exist already? Did you hear it somewhere? Was it a
mhm.
part of the culture? Yes.
So this story was, narrated to me by a cousin sister.
Oh, okay.
But in a very different way. But then we were driving around that district, and she
Okay.
was just saying that there used to be a village which got lost because the humans
Ah.
disturbed a python, mystical
Hmm.
python. So around that thing, I built the whole story. And
Okay.
in the head hunting story, like priests exorcising with that rice
Hmm.
beer and all, those were really practiced. And also the
Oh, yeah.
ear burial that is written in that story, they were practiced. And yeah, I had to do a lot of research for that story,
I,
because I had
yeah.
to study all the customary practices, death rituals, and also festival rituals of those particular community to put it accurately in the story.
Okay. Awesome. So, most of your stories are wonderful. I mean, as a literature student, no, I'll always recommend, if you're writing about eco criticism or
Mm-hmm.
eco papers, I think you should take her book. I was talking about it. For you, nature seems to be like a backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go away at all. Your stories have all that setting, the scenery, the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what I want to talk about. You're talking about tigers, forests, rivers, plants. What do you think? Do you think we should conserve them, or what's happening in your place? Are they changing?
Yes.
Because I come from hill station,
Mm-hmm.
where it used to be so beautiful. Now there are only concrete jungles everywhere. The
Mm-hmm.
thing is gone. So what's happening
Mm-hmm.
there?
Um, here, here, I think during my grandfather's time, people used to go hunting. That was their day job full-time job.
Yeah.
Women used to go to the farms. That was their full-time job. But
uh,
nowadays, everyone are doing jobs, business. The villages have turned into towns. Towns have turned into
mm,
small cities. So people have discontinued hunting. And
mm,
I feel like in Arunachal, even poaching is not as means uh, the rate of poaching is also not that much. I feel like that. So in fact, there are many species of plants and also animals that are being recently discovered in the highlands. So
oh, that's wonderful.
so the animal nature situation
Mm-hmm.
is still very good, I think, here. Just in the small towns, there are like growing this buildings and roads and
mm,
etc. But nature is still being preserved well, and I really like nature, and also I love animals. And when I finished
mm.
writing this book, I actually realized that each of the story have animal characters, and I
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
I didn't do it consciously. I could have.
Probably unconsciously, you just wanted to, okay,
Mm.
let's write, and that's nice.
Yeah, so
Okay.
uh, and
Ex-
in that move, maybe I realized that how much um I see animals with how much wonderment in my eyes. So
mm,
like when I saw
okay.
a tiger for the first time, how I felt, I cannot forget that. I mean, I saw in a zoo.
Uh, but still, the memory of it hit you
Yeah.
hard, is was. Yeah, just continuing with that, I really enjoyed that plant, pig, and the women story. It's basically you have brought. That's when I felt like you are a lover of nature. Probably you take long walks. Am I right? Do you like to
Yeah.
sit outside and watch things?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, sometimes. So yeah, it brings together ecology, gender, and power. When you're writing plant, pig, and the woman, what are you thinking?
Hmm. So I actually wrote that story. That story is one of the most risky story in the collection because it's very
Uh,
absurd and high fantasy. So that story is actually a combination of three, four ideas I had. First was my
hmm,
own guilt of being a
hmm,
non-vegetarian. So
hmm.
there were times when I felt that I should become a vegetarian, but then I could not become. So I just imagined, what if
Okay.
all the pigs or all the chickens that I ate became ghosts in my own stomach. That, and also
Okay.
I wanted to highlight the story of that certain tribe, Huruik,
Hmm,
because there are
hmm.
some tribes in Arunachal which are very backward. They live in the mountains. They don't have electricity. They don't have proper farming landscape because
Hmm.
it's so hilly. And then they live
Okay.
in isolated villages, and their living conditions are very poor. So I wanted to
Okay.
highlight that. And also, I wanted to highlight that practice which was done. Did you see that illustration of
Yeah,
that
yeah. I've
wooden
seen
thing?
that log. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That was. Is
And I
it
was,
real?
yes, it is real. And I was very
Okay.
surprised yesterday in my office also. Like I was discussing with one of my colleagues. She's from Arunachal, but she was
Okay.
unaware of this one.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
know, no. I
She
saw.
was
Okay.
unaware of this practice, but yeah, it was done. Not in all the communities, in
But it's a
certain
terrible
community.
practice. Yeah, yeah. I
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Okay. And even spirit of the thing, no, that story also you have spoken about nature, and I really liked your humor, the Cobra Man. You have a sense of nice. You are very observant of drunken men, I suppose, and it was very nice story, the Cobra Man.
Thank
And
you.
finally, I wanted to talk about, of course, a man from China, and that was like the best story in this whole collection that I loved. I loved all the stories, but that was my favorite. And I saw somewhere you mentioned that that is your favorite as well. So the final
Yes.
question is like, migration is happening around the world. People are not very open about the idea. We have our own reservations. What's your take on that? Because your story talks about that. It's like, yeah, we are different people, but at the end of the day, we are all humans. Like at one point, somebody should accept each other. So what do you think about that?
See, if there were no crime and everything was good in this world, I wish there were no borders in this entire world. I wish
Hmm.
people could just go. I wish I could just go to China. I wish I could just walk towards China or maybe walk towards Bangladesh whenever I felt like.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have like softer aspect when it comes to immigration and
Hmm.
um
Okay.
I know people have their conservations, but I mean conservative minds, but I'm pro for like immigration and exchange of culture.
Because that story talks about a lot of aspects. And final thing was great. His daughter coming back, that was awesome. So, at the end of the time, like when I read it, I felt like after reading each one, I took notes because what I felt, I didn't want to forget it. So I wrote all of that so that I could ask you. And many people had a lot of questions for you in this well. Now, let's finish it with this one. What's your future plan? Are you writing new books? What's going on?
Yes, I'm
Will
trying
we be
to.
able to read a will we
Yes,
be able to read a full-fledged novel by
I'm
Subi
trying
Taba?
to write a full-fledged novel about my
Okay.
village. I mean, there
Okay.
are many
We will,
ideas I have in my head, but I felt that
mm,
I should write that one first.
okay. So we will be discussing it again in the future when it's done. Surely we'll do it. So finally, what kind of advice will you give, aspiring writers like us? What should we do so that we can complete, I suppose? Should we keep writing? Should we submit? What should we do?
I think you need lots of solo time, I think, to really focus on your
Mm-hmm.
work. Lot of rewriting, also rereading,
Mm.
and also I think sometimes we all
How long
become.
did it take for you?
I think
How long did it take for you to finish the book?
1.5 years. I think around
Oh, okay.
1.5 years.
That's
But
nice.
I sometimes I didn't write every day. But 1.5 years, I think.
Mm-hmm. So, that's it. So we should be trying, writing, rewritings, do our
Yeah.
best, I suppose.
Mm.
Okay. But anyway, it was really nice talking to you. You answered a question and you are very patient. Thank you so much. And we all
My
enjoyed your book.
pleasure.
In fact, I'm introducing your book to all our professors and all. Probably some colleges will take your book into consideration for their syllabus. That's what I'm
Hopefully.
looking at. Let's see, so that most students will be introduced to your work, and you deserve to be read, I suppose. Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank
Yeah,
you for
my
your time. It was
pleasure.
great talking to you. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
so
Keep in
much.
touch. Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much. Okay.